I realized that we needed to work very quickly in order to figure out and begin planning for the 2020-2021 school year. And so I talked to some school board members and some administrators, and I conceptualized and designed the Return to School Coalition. The goal of the Return to School Coalition was to elevate as many voices as possible in a very quick way so that we could uncover what we needed to consider as we planned for the return to school. The Return to School Coalition had 5 different subgroups. Each was led by a team of administrators and included students, staff members, parents, community members, and many of the different voices in our school district. The Return to School Coalition met on a regular basis with each subgroup completing certain tasks. And so I read through a number of different models and adapted them so that they would meet our needs for this moment in time. Through the Return to School Coalition, there was a distinct 4-stage process that every subgroup engaged in that created documentation along the way that then supported our future decision making. We had a very large group with over 125 people as the full Return to School Coalition, but each subgroup and each subcommittee was much smaller. So we tried to incorporate both the small and intimate conversations and still elevate as many voices as we possibly could.
So I was interested in serving on the Return to School Coalition to really represent the general population of students. So I'm a parent. I had a rising 9th grader and a rising 6th grader, and my nephew was a rising into kindergarten. I've been a member of the middle school PTO, or Dorseyville Middle School PTO, as president for the last several years. And I find the PTOs in the secondary education system are very important to make sure that all of the children and all of the staff are represented. So being part of the Return to School Coalition really helped me feel comfortable to make sure that the educators, the other parents, the other community members, that we were all together and that the children, all children, were being represented by parents such as myself. So the plan was thorough. We opened on time. Every kid had a device that needed a device, so they were able to go into the school year with the right materials. They not only a device, but internet if they needed it. Everybody was well equipped. There were multiple plans in place. So really every parent and family got to make the right choice that suited them. It was incredibly adaptable. So if your child went to school and they weren't comfortable, they could stay home. If they weren't feeling well, they could stay home. If they were home and weren't doing well, they could get back into school. If they were synchronous, but it really wasn't suiting their schedule, they could go asynchronous. It was really very, very amazing to have such flexibility.
As the president of Best Buddies, I helped the Return to School Coalition continue to bridge the gap and promote inclusion and make sure that everyone was still included fully and nobody was being left behind or left out. While being one of the only students or kids on a Zoom call with about 30 adults, it was intimidating at times, and at first it was a little bit scary, but I learned that my voice was really important and that I was able to be heard.
Having voices from so many community members, medical professionals, our staff and students really helped inform district leadership on all of the aspects of the plan that we needed to consider. In writing the plan, we took that input, processed it, and really prioritized what we needed to do to keep students, staff, and our community safe.
I think one of the things I'm very proud of with the Return to School Coalition is how much information we were able to gather that truly did affect our planning, not only as we returned to school in August, but then throughout the year as we had to continue to make shifts and turns based on changing guidance. It really did prove to provide a foundation for us throughout the entire school year.